or any of our other classes, we do have a YouTube channel that has quite a bit of free stuff on there. All right, so I'm taking us actually live on there right now. So if you were to follow us on YouTube, on Lumiwealth, you would see that, or any of our other classes, and we're live, you'd see that we actually have a lot of our stuff on there. All right, so let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so this is us live on YouTube, right? It looks kind of funny because it's literally just delayed by a bit. But if you want to find us on YouTube, all you need to do, go to youtube.com and search for Lumiwealth, right? The name of our company, just search for that. And you'll see us come up. We're the first ones that are there, right? Just click on that and then make sure you subscribe and hit our bell button because that's going to give you alerts to all this new stuff, right? Which is basically, learning about any of our other classes like blockchain, like our Web3 course that's going to be coming out soon, like our algorithmic trading course, like our machine learning course, any of those things. We have lots of free content up on YouTube that you can check out. All right. Also, if you want to get a recording of this lecture right now, then you're going to be able to go in there and you'll see that it's actually live right now, right? You see that right there. This is us live. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, you can do that too. But also after the class, after this, it's going to turn into a recording so you guys can rewatch this as many times as you want. All right, so check us out on YouTube. I'm going to paste the link. It's basically youtube.com/c/Lumiwealth. So I'm going to send that out to you guys here. There you go. Cool, awesome. All right, so let's get started. All right, welcome guys. I know we had a lot of people sign up today, so this is great. I see you guys still filling into the room. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very cool topic. It's a new thing that we're going to be doing at Lumiwealth, and this is something that people have asked for a lot. There's been a very strong demand for this. I think for good reason. I mean, I've met a lot of people making a ton of money doing this kind of stuff. So I think it's about time for us to really jump into this full speed ahead, right? And that is, of course, using algorithms to trade cryptocurrencies, right? So, you guys have, I'm sure, heard of cryptocurrencies and trading, but imagine you could use a bot to do that, right? Instead of, going to your Coinbase, loading things up, losing sleep because these markets are 24 hours. There's a lot of really good advantages to using bots within your trading, especially for crypto, all right? Here's our agenda for today. We're going to start off with getting to know you guys a little bit. I'm going to tell you a bit about myself, introduce you to the company. We're going to talk about why we want to use algorithms for this sort of thing. Then we're going to talk about the different companies that use algorithms as well and how they're doing. Hint, they're doing very well. We're going to talk about our technology a little bit, and then we're going to go into the fun part, which is the demos. We're going to show you a bunch of our bots running, and you'll get to see them both trading live, and you'll get to see them back tested and how they would have done over a time period. All right. Once we do that, we'll tell you a little bit about our course if you guys want to join and become part of the movement. All right. Okay, cool. So first of all, let's get to know you guys. So if you guys could type this out into your chat and just let me know 3 things, right? First of all, what is your occupation, right? What is it that you do for a living? Do you know how to code? Have you ever programmed before? And how much crypto experience do you have? Have you been trading crypto for a while? Are you a blockchain engineer or are you brand new to this stuff? All right. So see Medina, you're right there. Welcome, Medina. So I can start off. So my occupation is, CEO of Lumiwealth. I'm typing this out into the chat. Do I know how to program? Yes. Been programming for over 20 years. It's been a while. I started when I was really, really young. And then how much experience with crypto do you have? I mean, I started a crypto company that's worth a little over $1 billion right now called Voyager. So I've been in this for a while. I think I started trading crypto in like 2015 or 16, something like that. It's like pretty early days. But okay, cool. So Dustin says he's unemployed, learning JavaScript now and Python next. About a year, self-learning crypto trading. Very cool. Awesome. So Dustin, sounds like you actually have a great background for this. JavaScript and Python are languages of choice definitely lately for everything, including cryptocurrencies. So definitely a very good skill set they have there. Alex says he's a software engineer programming in C++. Very cool. Crypto trading novice. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. M. Stebbins says self-employed. Ron says Voyager. Yeah. I was maybe employee number 4 at Voyager. Pretty crazy how big that company's gotten now. I keep seeing the CEO doing all sorts of outrageous stuff. I think we sponsor a NASCAR now. It's like kind of crazy, but yeah, definitely remember the days with Voyager when we were in basically a WeWork, and just like 4 of us. I built like the first version of the iPhone app, which we scrapped pretty soon after because we got a much better iPhone developer. Helped build out basically the entire infrastructure of the back end from the beginning. So yeah, definitely really a fun ride to say the least, you know. Okay, so Medina says, hi, I'm Medina. I have a degree in biomedical labs and clinical science. Very cool. Sounds like you're very well educated. Working in a chemistry lab, no previous coding experience, been trading crypto for about a month. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Sounds like you're a very smart person that could pick up stuff pretty quickly. So that's great. And also just to let you know that the skills you'll be learning in a class like this, like Python, for example, is very useful from biomedical sciences as well. There's a lot of data science being done in that field lately. M7 says, self-employed, haven't coded in 20 years, familiar with BTC for a decade, actively trading a year. Very cool, awesome. I find that people that have coded before in the past tend to pick it up really fast. It's pretty amazing how quickly people pick things up. You know? Okay, Latoya, hello, my name is Unique. Currently, I'm a systems operations engineer, very cool. However, I just completed the blockchain developer course with Lumiwealth in hopes of becoming a full-time blockchain developer before the end of the year. 5 years in crypto, self-taught. Awesome. Yeah, Unique, I actually remember you from the course as well. I took that course along with you guys, and I thought it was amazing. It's such a good course to learn the fundamentals of blockchain. We're actually coming up with another one on Web3, like how do you connect that to a website too, if you're interested. Yeah, welcome as well. Yeah, Alexandra's a great instructor. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. 100%. Cool. Okay. So thanks for letting me know a little bit about yourselves, guys. Feel free to keep writing in there. I'm going to keep writing in the chat. Another thing you got to know is that it's great when these webinars or these, I call them conversations almost, when this is more interactive, right? So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask throughout this entire presentation, because it's much more fun when we get to interact and you ask the questions throughout. So don't wait until the very end. It's great when you ask throughout, right? Okay, so to tell you a little bit about myself, so I'm going to be the instructor for this course, and to kind of tell you a little bit about my background. So I spent a lot of time managing software teams. I mean, you can read the thing here, but I spent a lot of time managing software teams on Wall Street. I worked at a company called Greystone, and then which basically does mortgages, large scale commercial mortgages. Basically helped put together their tech team, hired a bunch of people. We built out some really great products there. I think to date we've done maybe like $20 billion in mortgages through that product that we built back in the day. It's very cool. We use a lot of like machine learning and stuff like that to sell mortgages. I've taught a lot of people this kind of stuff. So, I've been teaching the algorithmic trading course for a couple of years now. I used to be a TA back in the day. So I definitely love doing this sort of stuff. It's really cool seeing people come up with new ideas. I think there's a lot of value in this sort of thing. So I love being able to teach and interact with you guys. I also have a master's in finance. So I have a pretty strong background in the finance. I've worked in the field. I've also gotten a degree in it. And then, so I'm just skimming through this here. I've been coding for over 20 years, coding in many different languages. So Python, JavaScript, C++, C, C#, Ruby on Rails, PHP, TypeScript, name a programming language. I've probably done it. It's been a long time. Really, I mean, there's very few I feel like I don't know. except for maybe the new ones like Rust. I feel like that'd be a cool one to get to know. But definitely been doing this for quite some time. And yeah, and I guess the last thing, you know, we're talking about Voyager. My job immediately before this job right now, which is running this company, I'm the CEO of Lumiwealth. Before this job, I used to work at Voyager, where I was employee number 4. They're basically like a competitor to Coinbase, if you guys don't know. We built this thing basically from the ground up. I remember when this was just an idea and it was a bunch of us that, you know, in a room arguing about how to make, what colors to make the button and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I mean, that company ended up doing quite well. You know, it's now worth, you know, last I checked, $1.5 billion on the stock market. Probably going to go public on the NASDAQ soon. So cross your fingers. That would give me a very nice payday, to say the least. That would be very, very nice. But I could tell you a lot of my friends from back at that office are extremely wealthy now. Yeah, just, you know, straight out. But yeah, so that was my job immediately before this. I was basically helping the software team there. Now my job is, you know, we started our own company. This is something that I've been always very passionate about, is building like trading algorithms and helping people invest better. So that's really what this company is all about, is helping people invest better, help people make money, specifically do that using software. Because I think that software is making a fundamental difference in the entire world, investing included. I think, you know, 20 years from now, when people say they're like investing in stocks manually, you're going to look at them like, what the heck are you doing? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm a strong believer in that sort of thing. And that's exactly why we started this company, to really advance that whole thing, right? Okay, so just kind of answering the question of what is Lumiwealth, but to kind of take it further, Lumiwealth really is to you know, help people invest better using software. We're doing that right now using courses, right? We have 5 different courses. We have an options trading course that teaches you how to trade options using algorithms. We have a machine learning course that teaches you how to use machine learning, like artificial intelligence, to trade, taught by a very intelligent person who makes a lot of money for his clients. We have a blockchain course, which teaches you how to build your own blockchain smart contracts. We have an algorithmic trading course, which teaches you how to trade stocks and a bunch of other asset classes, kind of like a broad thing. It teaches you how to do that for mostly stocks, but, you know, a little bit of crypto and things like that. And, you know, how to do that using algorithms, right? How to trade using algorithms. We have this class, which teaches you specifically, this is, you know, 100% zeroed in on trading crypto using algorithms. There's a lot of really interesting things you could do to make money doing this sort of thing. And I'll show you some of those things, right? And then we also have a few other courses coming out soon, like a course I mentioned on Web3, which is going to teach you how to make a website. Like, for example, you can mint your own NFTs, create like an NFT minting website. There's a bunch of things that we have there. So we have all these courses. And then we're also working on some technology as well that is going to make a lot of these things quite a bit easier, right? So we do the teaching. We're also building a lot of this tech ourselves, right? So we eat our own dog food, to say. Cool. So that's Lumiwealth. I mentioned before our YouTube channel. Here's a link to it again. So if you guys check out that link to YouTube, basically you'll see all of our past recordings. You'll see a lot of free information there. You'll see this recording there as well. So after, right now you'll see it live, but after this is done, you'll see it turns into a recording and you can rewatch this as many times as you want, right? So go in there. When you're in there, don't forget to do the like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get all those notifications of all the free and cool new stuff that we're sending out, right? We also have a Discord channel that I suggest you guys join. This is a great way to get to know our existing students, our past students, and really just anyone interested in these topics. You see, this is our crypto channel. It's extremely active. Apparently today, $7 million worth of Ethereum was burned. I haven't learned about that yet, but really, really active. And these people on here are very intelligent, know their stuff. I can tell you a couple people on here. I know Adam, he's been part of our courses for some time. He has been making an absolute killing trading crypto. I think he told me he made like 5,000% in the past year, which is absolutely insane. Santayan, who has taken several courses as well, he's built some very good bots. I think last time I heard, he made like 500% when he was building his bots, and he does stuff that like follows influencers and things like that. So a lot of really good people in here. If you want to talk to them and kind of just ask them about what they're up to, or just chat about crypto or anything else, right? We have different channels. We have a crypto channel. We have our channel on bot development, which I need to get back to someone in here, right? We have our general channel, which is usually a little quieter, but as you can tell, there's a lot of different things going on here. So if you're interested in speaking with some people, you know, this is the place to do it, right? So I definitely recommend you guys join, and hopefully see you there, right? We're also gonna have a survey at the end of the webinar, so don't forget to fill out that survey. And then please, again, ask questions throughout the presentation. It's best when we have interactive presentations. It's a lot more fun that way. I like getting to know you guys and answering whatever's on your mind, right? Okay, so that's the intro. Let's get into the thick of it, right? And this is kind of the main parts, right? So first of all, why do we want to use algorithms to trade crypto, right? There's quite a few reasons, but I can tell you there's 4 really main ones that stand out quite a bit, right? So first of all, crypto is a 24-hour market, right? So for example, you know, I don't know if you guys are watching TV at this time. I was watching TV when, you know, basically the invasion of Ukraine happened, okay? And at, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the morning, I'm like up and like, holy crap, like what's going on here? I couldn't sleep. But basically you just watch the crypto markets go berserk, right? You know, Bitcoin drops like 20% in like 2 hours, right? It's like everything just goes nuts, right? And if you had a bot, right, you could take advantage of that sort of swing, right? You could both make money off swings like that, and you could also protect yourself from having big losses, right? So the fact that crypto is 24 hours really kind of makes it a little bit hard to go to sleep when you're a trader. And this really helps out a lot with that. You know, your bot can run 24 hours. You have to sleep, your bots don't, right? So you really can take advantage of a lot of those things. I'll even tell you there's things that happen when like you switch from like the US markets to like the Asian markets. Like there are price changes that happen. There's a lot of really interesting things that you can do because of the 24-hour nature of cryptocurrencies, right? And you could use bots to take advantage of that, right? There's also thousands of assets, right? It's really hard for a person, an individual, to sift through all this stuff. What is the latest coin that's coming up? What's like a big thing that's jumping? There's lots of ways that you could actually sift through this programmatically, right? For example, a website called Token Sniffer, where you can basically go through a bunch of like smaller tokens and see, are they legitimate or not, right? And then you can pair that with, are they having a breakout or not, right? So if they're shooting up a lot, they're good coins, and maybe they're shooting up more than the market, there's certain things that you could do to invest in smaller coins to make quite a bit of money off this, right? So that's another thing. Another thing is that there's hundreds of exchanges, right? We're going to start the course off with 3, but we're going to be adding them in very aggressively over time. And what that means, because there are so many exchanges, is that you could take advantage of like price differences between them, right? And to tell you a story, when we first started Voyager, this was maybe 1 year into it when we just launched the app. We were initially trying to take advantage of arbitrage opportunities, right? That's why we weren't an exchange, we were a broker, and we connected to a bunch of exchanges. But because of that, we were able to find price differences, right? So one broker would be selling Bitcoin for 50,000, the other one would be selling it for 51,000, right? And as you can imagine, you could buy it for cheap and then sell it for more. And a funny story is at the beginning of Voyager, is Steve Ehrlich. He actually caught me for this, the CEO. But you know, we've all found out they can make a lot of money doing this. I literally just sat there hitting buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell for like an hour. Made a couple $100 just doing that, right? But that's kind of just to show you is that, you know, there are these price differences and these discrepancies inside the crypto market because it's so new that you could take advantage of using bots and things like that, right? Now there's a question here in the chat. Travis asked, do you have any links to your FX Blue so we can see past results and drawdown? FX Blue, I mean, I don't use FX Blue. Haven't used that broker. I mean, I can show you guys maybe some of my crypto stuff after a while. I mean, to be honest with you, I want to be honest with you though, this crypto trading stuff where we're doing these algorithms, this is still pretty brand new. We're just building out this capability. So if you want to see the results with crypto bots, I could show you some back tests. I could show you how some of these things would have done in the past, but we haven't had these things running for long enough to show you, you know, forward-looking results just yet. All right. But I can show you back test results. I can show you how these things would have done if you had ran them over the past, and I'll show you that in a bit. All right. I could tell you that, you know, I've definitely made a lot of money off trading over the couple of years in stocks and in options and all sorts of stuff. I don't know how I can get pictures of that, but I could tell you I've definitely done quite well. So, all right, cool. So we have these exchanges. And again, this course is really not about, you know, if you're expecting to go into this course and say like, I'm going to be a gajillionaire, right? You know, you're going to have to put in the work, right? Like, it's not like we're handing you a bunch of algorithms that just like work amazingly off the bat, even though I'll show you a couple that I suggest would probably be a good thing to do. But it's still, you have to put in the work, right? We're giving you the tools and you're able to use those tools to do a lot of things with them, all right? We're also building a website eventually where you'll be able to just buy into this sort of thing too. Right. Okay, cool. So yeah, so why use algorithms? So we're talking about hundreds of exchanges. We're also another thing that happens in crypto quite a bit is that trends change very quickly, right? It's a very volatile market, right? And when there's a volatile market, it means that you could take advantage of that volatility, right? So when you see things whipsaw, it goes up and down 10%, down 10%. You know, if you're trading that manually, you could take advantage of it, right? But you'd have to be staring at your screen the whole time, right? There's things like mean reversion that I'm going to be showing you today, or momentum they could follow, and you can actually make some pretty good money doing that sort of thing. There's been a lot of people that have made money doing that sort of thing. I'll show you the back test as well. But you know, you could do that yourself and you could trade it yourself. That means you're never going to be able to leave your computer, right? It's all you're going to be doing all day long is just staring at a screen and trying to trade this thing, right? So, you know, the advantage of using a bot is that you don't have to do that. It can take advantages for you, and bots are very fast. They don't sleep, they don't have to eat, and they don't blink. You know what I mean? They're very, very quick, right? So that's some of the advantages of crypto algorithms. There are quite a few more. You know, there's a lot of like really, really cool things that you can take advantage of. You can take advantage of like social sentiment. You can take advantage of you know, a lot of these like smaller coins that are coming up and having like people talking about them. There's a lot of really interesting things that they could do using crypto bots to make quite a bit of money. I could tell you that, you know, our students have done quite well over time. You know, I could tell you that I've done quite well with our own bots as well, although crypto is a new one for us. We're just building out that capability now. But definitely a lot of things they can take advantage of to make money off of, right? Cool, but don't take my word for it, right? You know, I'm one person, or, you know, our students are one person, or, you know, individuals, right? There are a lot of companies making money off this as well, right? So here's a couple of companies that basically use algorithms to trade, right? So one of them, and this is probably one of the more popular ones, is Renaissance Technologies. This company's been around since like the 80s. Was founded by a guy named Jim Simmons, a really, really smart guy. He founded this company back in the day, and there's this really good book about him, where basically they started this hedge fund, you know, in a time when computers were like really new, right? It was like these little MS-DOS things. So it was like quite difficult to make algorithms back then. These days it's much easier. But they started this company, and it took them a little while to figure it out. But I think it was maybe a year or two into it, they really cracked the code and started making quite a bit of cash trading the markets, right? So this is kind of their story, where it goes from them, you know, starting out to kind of at one point, they start making so much money that they're like buying houses and forget they even exist. It's like stupid how much money these guys made. I think Jim Simmons is one of the richest men on earth. He's worth $10 billion or more than that. His hedge fund manages quite a bit of capital. And they actually closed it off to outside investors. They don't even want any more money because they only allow employees now to invest in the fund. So last time I checked, they're managing somewhere around $110 billion in assets. That's probably quite a bit more by now. This is a couple of years ago I checked, maybe a year or two ago. These guys have an incredible track record, and keep this in mind. This is in the stock market, and this is over a long period of time. They've made 39% on average over a 30-year period, right? So to kind of give you an idea of what that means, right? Because everyone has this in their minds of like, oh yeah, the stock market shoots up like crazy. And we've seen it in the past year. It did, 30, 40%, right? This is not normal for the stock market. This is that was a very unusual year. And there are years where things are down. Like for example, 2008, things are down 50%, 55% actually in S&P. This year, things are down so far, right? There are ups and downs in the stock market. These guys made 39% on average, okay? And when I say on average, I don't mean that it's like one year's 39, other one's negative 50. I mean that they only lost money once, one quarter, and the entire existence of the firm, right? And every single other time they're making money. In a year like last year, when the market was up 40%, these guys are up like 100%. You know what I mean? They're just absolutely killing it, right? And to put that into perspective, the stock market does about 10% a year, right? And so if you put your money in the stock market at 10% a year, sorry, hold on, the oven just here, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Just need to get the food out of the oven before it burned. So to put that into perspective, 39% a year, right? That's compared to a stock market that does around 10% a year on average. This is the S&P 500, the best performing stock market in the world, by the way. If you invested $1,000 into that over 30 years, $1,000 would have turned into $17,000 after 30 years. That's good. This is why people tell you to invest in this for your retirement. Definitely a very good thing to do. It's much better than putting into a savings account, and a heck of a lot better than, buying a used car or something like that, right? It's definitely very good to invest. It's definitely very good to put into the stock market. But imagine this, right? This is at 10%, okay? If you had invested in these guys at 39% a year, you're gonna get not 4 times more, not 10% to 39, that's 4x. That's not 4 times more, right? What you actually get is it compounds, right? Compound interest is, they say, one of the most powerful forces on the face of the earth, right? Instead of $1,000 turning into $17,000, your $1,000 would have turned into $24 million after 30 years. That's only $1,000, right? Absolutely incredible. That is the difference between you retiring with, some amount of money, feeling comfortable maybe, to you retiring and being extraordinarily wealthy. You know what I mean? Imagine, putting $1,000, what if you put in 100,000, right? 240 million bucks, right? It's insane, right? Or 2.4 billion, I think, actually, if you put 100,000. That's exactly why these guys are so rich. That's exactly why Jim Simmons is worth billions. They have been incredibly successful with their investing and done very, very well. It's what they do. They basically build algorithms. They do not have people trading. It's literally only computers that are buying and selling stocks, options, futures. I'm sure they're into crypto now too, and just making money hand over fist. You know what I mean? But they're not the only ones, right? They're probably one of the most successful companies in this, but they're not the only ones, right? The other ones like them is like 2 Sigma. These guys manage 60 billion in assets. Last time I checked, it's probably even more than that now. 2 Sigma, also does very well, beats the stock market on a regular basis, risk adjusted as well. So it's not like, there's one thing to say to beat the stock market. Let's say you get like 20%, and if you're taking some crazy risks, it's a whole different story if you're beating the stock market and like just consistently making 20%, like a savings account, right? It's 2 very different things, right? You can even borrow money in the latter and make even more than 20% if you want to take that risk, right? So 2 Sigma, they beat the stock market regularly with a very good rate as well, with a very good risk. Another really big company that's doing this is Citadel. These guys have maybe been notorious lately in the news, but they do make a ridiculous amount of money. They have lots of algorithms that trade for them, that do things like algorithmic trading, that make markets. These guys are just literally making money like crazy. It's like a printing press in their offices, basically. Last time I checked, they managed 32 billion. Their CEO is also incredibly wealthy. Bridgewater is another company managed by Ray Dalio. I think he might have stepped down now. But they also use a lot of computer technology within their firm. They don't have computers trading per se, but they do have a lot of data analytics within their company. At the end of the day, they have a human being pushing that button, but they do use a lot of data to make that decision. The differences between Renaissance is they have a lot of data to make decisions, but they have computers doing it. Bridgewater is just opting to have a person to do it instead. But they're also incredibly successful. I think probably the biggest firm in the world at this point. I think they're one of the biggest hedge funds on the planet. Very heavy into algorithms. And then another one, which is a really fun one. And tell me if you guys know who used to work here at D.E. Shaw. This is an algorithmic trading company that's been around for a while. And there's a famous person that I guarantee you know that used to work here at D.E. Shaw. And let me know if you guys know who it is. I'll give you guys a few seconds to type it out. Let me see here. I got a chat. Bezos. Yes, exactly. Great job, Daniel. Jeff. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the story goes, Jeff Bezos, one of his first jobs on Wall Street, he went to go work at D.E. Shaw when he was very young. Learned a lot about how to build trading algorithms, how to do data science, right? D.E. Shaw is all about using data to make trading decisions, right? And to have algorithms to trade for them, right? They're a very successful company. They've done very well over time. And Jeff Bezos used to work there. And looking at all that data, he saw that the stock market is doing incredibly well. Or sorry, not the stock market. The internet is doing incredibly well. It's growing very quickly, right? And he saw this exponential growth rate, and he's like, if there's all these companies doing well in it, they're all investing in this, right? What if I started my own, right? So he came up with the idea for Amazon, and basically the rest is history. Told his boss, see ya, went off, started Amazon, and now one of the richest people on earth. And he started exactly in this place where you guys would be starting, building your own trading algorithms and learning about how to work with data and how to interpret all this sort of stuff, right? So you're in very good company when you're building out trading algorithms. It's not just myself, it's not just our students. It is a lot of other companies that are quite successful doing this sort of thing, right? Cool. All right, so let's tell you a little bit about our technology, and I'm going to show you a couple demos here, all right? So first of all, when you go through this course, we're going to be using our library that we've spent quite a bit of time building. It's an open source library that we've developed over the past couple of years. When you learn how to do this for crypto, you'll also be able to use this for other assets as well. You'll be able to use this for stocks, for options, for Forex, for what else? Futures, right? So you could backtest a lot of different things. It makes it very easy for you to backtest and create trading strategies, right? And we connect to quite a few different exchanges. So we connect to a lot of different crypto exchanges. So when you guys start the course, we're going to have Coinbase, Binance, and KuCoin off the bat. We're planning to add in quite a few more very quickly after that. They're pretty easy to stick in there. So we're going to be putting in quite a few different crypto exchanges, right? But then we also have a lot of stock exchanges or brokers, I should say, like Alpaca, they can connect to and trade from. Interactive Brokers, TradeStation, we're going to be linking to as well. So if you're interested in doing other types of assets, the things that you'll learn in this course will teach you how to trade other assets as well, right? You'll also be able to trade 24/7 when you use this technology. You'll be able to trade in intervals as low as 1 second. We're thinking about even speeding that up over time. They could trade even faster than 1 second increments. You'll be able to trade multiple strategies in custom portfolios, so you can trade multiple strategies all at the same time. You'll be able to get historical data, they could trade a wide range of different coins and markets, right? So we make this very easy for you using our technology that we've developed over time, and you'll be able to use that to basically run your trades and make some money trading. You know? Okay. So let me show you some demos, right? So I'm going to show you, there's one more here that I just added in fast trading. I'm going to show you 5 different demos here, right? Or there's 5 different algorithms I want to talk about today, okay? So the first one I want to talk about is pretty simple, okay? Simple, but quite effective, right? And we call this our custom ETF, right? And what this enables you to do is to basically build your own crypto ETF, right? There's a lot of advantages to this, right? So you can basically pick your own coin. So in this case, I'm using, we'll even go into here. I'm using these 5 coins, right? So BTC, ETH, BNB, NEO, and LTC, right? So I'm using those 5 coins, and I have these weightings in each one. So 35% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum, 20% BNB, 10% NEO, 10% Litecoin, right? And what this algorithm is going to do is, first of all, I'm back testing it right now. And I'm trying to see how would this have done over the past couple of years, right? And I'll tell you specifically the date range. We're going from 2020, January 1st to 2021, May 1st, right? I need to get some newer data to actually go even further ahead than that. But the results are very similar, right? I can tell you that much. So basically, we're back testing over this time period to see how this would have done over this time period. And specifically, we want to look towards a benchmark, right? So how would this have done versus just buying Bitcoin, right? And this is not just you go buy these 5 coins and you disappear. No, this actually does a lot of smart rebalancing for you, right? So if one coin's down, it's going to buy more of that one, right? If another coin's up, it's going to sell that one and rebalance, right? So this way, you're basically effectively buying low and selling high across the board, right? So when Bitcoin's a little high compared to everything else, we're going to sell some Bitcoin and we're going to buy the one that's down, right? So we're rebalancing, and we are able to make a lot more money in the long run because of that, because we're buying low, selling high. We're also reducing our risk quite a bit because we're not only owning one thing, we're owning several, and they're able to diversify across the board because of that, right? So you'll see in a bit here. Here I'm running this back test. You see the progress, right? You know, it takes a little bit of time to run this thing and see exactly what the results are. But we'll see exactly what would have happened if you had invested over that time period versus Bitcoin, right? So while that thing's running, let me tell you a little bit about, I mean, this is the result, basically. You'll see the result comes out kind of looking like this, right? And you see that we do quite a bit better than just owning Bitcoin by itself, right? We do better on a risk-adjusted basis, right? So it doesn't mean that we just have a higher return. It means that we also have lower risk. So when the market's down, we're not down as much. When the market's up, we're up a lot, right? So we're doing quite well on a risk-adjusted basis, right? And I'll show you kind of the results of this sort of thing, and you'll be able to build this stuff yourself. You could tweak these weights. You could be a lot smarter about it too. You could have things, you know, you could follow the news and say, well, Bitcoin's been high in the news lately, so I want to increase the weighting, right? Or you could do like a whole bunch of things like do smart rebalancing, right? So here it is. Here's the result. If you had used this strategy over this time period, okay, see, you can take a look at all your buys, all your sells, right? So you can see this is how many times we bought, how many times we sold, what we bought, etc. Right? All these different things, right? You see the actual results, so you can compare the two. The red is Bitcoin, the blue is our strategy. So we definitely smoked Bitcoin by quite a bit. This is our tear sheet as well. So whenever you're running your strategies and you're trying new things out, you want to test this strategy or that strategy, you're going to get all these metrics automatically, right? So here you see again, you know, us versus the benchmark being BTC. We made about 900% over this time period, whereas Bitcoin made only 400%. I say only, but that's still quite a bit, right? Our Sharpe ratio is quite a bit better than the S&P, or sorry, than Bitcoin, right? Which means that we're taking on less risk and having higher returns. Our worst case scenario is 63% versus Bitcoin was down 60%. So we're about the same in terms of risk there. We're about the same in terms of volatility, right? But we did have quite a higher return, right? And then we have a lot of other things that you can take a look at here. You can see how we did end of year for each one of the years. We could see how the returns are distributed monthly. We could see rolling beta. We could see volatility, how volatility changes over time, right? Sharp ratio, how that changes over time. You see that it actually went up quite a bit over a time period. You get to see the drawdowns, what was the worst possible times for you to invest in this, right? There's a pretty long drawdown here, which is when it's kind of like the crypto winter, right? That's the longest drawdown that you would have had to go through, right? And it shows you exactly what would have happened there. And it also tells you what your monthly returns would have been per month, right? So it gives you a lot of information about your strategies and how they would have performed in the past, right? Now, what I could also do is I could just turn this thing on, right? So if I go, and let me see if I have this set up for you guys. I do not, but if if you gave me like 10 minutes, it'd be pretty easy for me to turn this thing around and have it actually run for you and have this thing start trading immediately. It's very, very simple to take this algorithm that we built, back tested. Oh, we got some good results here. Maybe I could tweak it a bit. What if we had more Ethereum instead of Bitcoin? What if it was 35.25, right? What would have happened then? And I could rerun this. I could tell me, what the results would have been for that. All right. So it's very cool. They could kind of see what things would have happened in the past, and you can immediately run this thing right now. All right. Cool. So that's a custom ETF. That's one thing that we're able to do, right? And you can build your own custom ETFs. I've actually seen there have been people that have come to me and said they want to start businesses like this, right? Imagine starting a hedge fund. It's a very simple hedge fund, kind of like an ETF. You charge people a fee for this, and you're able to run a very simple hedge fund, making people money doing this sort of thing, right? So that's one strategy. Another really interesting strategy is our mean reversion strategy. Okay, this one I'm not going to backtest live because it takes a little bit of time to go through. But this is kind of the results, and I'll open up the mean reversion. I'm going to open up the tear sheet for that one as well, right? So this is that tear sheet. I ran this earlier today because it does take a little while to run. And I want to save you guys the time. So here's a tear sheet for this mean reversion strategy. So what this one does is it uses a theory where assets tend to go kind of in a pretty symmetrical direction, right? And whenever they go out of whack from that, then it presents an opportunity, right? So for example, when Bitcoin drops, we buy more of it, right? And when it's up, we want to get rid of a bit of it, right? So we're able to mean revert doing that sort of thing. You see here that our strategy is in blue, right? Versus our benchmark, which is in yellow. You see that we smoked the benchmark by quite a bit using this very simple strategy, right? And this is if we're investing from 2020, basically the whole year of 2020, right? You see our Sharpe ratio is quite a bit better. We have a 3.4 Sharpe ratio instead of a 1.4, so do very well risk adjusted. Over this time period, the strategy would have made you 59%, whereas the Bitcoin, just the benchmark, would have only done 30%. So we like doubled it pretty much, right? And then you see that our volatility is actually a lot lower as well. We're not taking as much risk. Our max drawdown is only 10%. That's the most that we lost during this time, whereas Bitcoin lost 20%, right? Our volatility is 23% versus Bitcoin, which is 36. So we are doing better in this strategy in this time period, right? So you're able to take a look back and see again all these different metrics, right, on how the strategy performed, right, and how it would do going forward, right, to kind of give you an idea of how this thing would do in the future, right? So you can tweak your strategies, make them better, and help you understand exactly, or help you understand better what they're going to be performing like, right? So Daniel asked, so how can we learn to detect anomalies? So Daniel, what do you mean exactly by anomalies? Right, because that's a very broad term. What do you mean exactly by that? Right, and I'll wait for you to write down your answer. Okay, and again, so this one, so I ran it as a back test. If I want to run this live, let me see if I have this thing set up for you to run live. I should be able to actually run this thing. Yeah, here's the reversion strategy. If I flip that over to live equals true, let me see if I have it set up. I haven't tested this yet, by the way. So we'll see how this actually works. right? I'll save it. I'll go into my Coinbase. I'm using Coinbase Pro, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Coinbase Pro is actually a much better version of Coinbase, which first of all has lower fees, and also enables you to do this type of algorithmic trading. It gives you that ability to do that. The regular Coinbase charges you a lot in fees and you can't really trade through it like this, but this one allows you to do it. All right, so this is Coinbase Pro, okay? So if I run this thing, this might be very anticlimactic because it might just say that there is no reversions happening right now. But if I run it, it's running a back test. Live. Yeah, so I don't have a setup right now to do this. Yeah, so let me back out of this here. Okay. If I, maybe if I modify it a little bit, there you go. If I modify it live equals true, that's what I need to do. So I can run this thing. It's probably gonna be a little anticlimactic because, you know, it's not like it needs to wait a little while for it to actually place its trades. But here, all I did is flip a switch, set it up to be live. So instead of it back testing, it will actually go through and run live. So I'm getting something back here. Again, I haven't tried this yet. Just very simple thing that I don't want to hold you guys up on. But basically, that's all I would really need to do with this strategy is flip that switch, and I could make it go live quite quickly, quite easily. Right. I have a question here. So Daniel asked, so Simmons quartered his craft by finding market anomalies at Renaissance Technologies. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of things that you could do to find, you know, different kinds of anomalies. I mean, anomalies is a very broad term, right? So, I mean, basically finding things that shouldn't be happening, right? And I know this is the way that Jim Simmons kind of does it, right? Is one market anomaly, for example, is what I was talking about earlier, where you can do this, where you can basically do arbitrage between exchanges, right? So one anomaly could be that you're seeing Bitcoin at 51,000 on one exchange, but 50,000 on another. So you can buy here for 50,000 and sell for 51, right? That's one type of anomaly. That's called arbitrage, okay? There's also statistical arbitrage where coins should be moving together, for example. So if you see that Bitcoin just crashed a lot, but Ethereum didn't, and they usually move very close in unison, right? You could use machine learning and things like that to detect that, right? So if they fall out of that sync, then you can actually take advantage of the statistical arbitrage as well, right? There's a lot of other things you could do. You know, if you join our class, we actually have a discussion hour where we talk about a lot of different things like this. And it's, you know, there's a lot of very good ideas that go around within that discussion hour. But basically, you know, things like being able to front run someone in a market, right? So if you're trading on certain types of exchanges, especially for smaller coins, whenever someone places a very big trade, if you're quick enough, like for example, if you have a bot, you're able to actually get ahead of them, you know, basically sell it to them for a different kind of price and make a profit off of that, right? There's quite a few like things that you could do like that to take advantage of opportunities, right? So the question is, can you teach a newbie to code a complete tech stack to clone a CC exchange? So code a complete tech stack to clone a CC exchange. What do you mean by CC exchange? Like credit card exchange? Like what do you mean by cryptocurrency exchange? Crypto. So you want to create a cryptocurrency exchange? That is quite complex. That is a very difficult thing to do, to build an entire exchange. I know this because I built one. It is a lot of work to do something like that. If you could find basically some code already that just works out of the box, then I would just go with that, right? And I think a lot of these like decentralized exchanges, they do have the code available. So you could probably just grab their code and just run it. That shouldn't be that difficult. You don't need to know how to code for that. You just need to know how to deploy code. But if you want to build a cryptocurrency exchange, then that's going to be an extremely difficult task. I'd say get yourself a team and 10 million bucks, and you can do that. But if you want to just basically If you want, yeah, exactly, right? If you want to basically just clone a decentralized exchange, then you can definitely do that, right? Okay, cool. All right, so that's our mean reversion strategy. Some examples of that, right? Now I want to show you our momentum strategy. So this is another strategy, and this is kind of cool how you could actually do this sort of thing. So I'm going to show you our momentum strategy. I'm going to back test it, and I'm going to actually even just realized that I took us off of YouTube right now, but we're still streaming live. Okay, what I'm going to show you guys right now is basically our momentum strategy. And I'm going to show you something really cool they could do with code where you are able to actually test out different types of strategies, right? So here's a momentum strategy. And what we're going to do with this momentum strategy is basically we are going to see what would happen if we basically just bought the coin that's doing the best, right? There's a bag of coins here, right? And we want to be investing in just the best coin, right? That has done well over a certain time period, right? Okay. And here we're trying to basically test out different time periods, right? So we have a 30-day momentum here that I'm testing out, and then a 40-day momentum that we're testing out. And we're going to try 50, we're going to try 60. This is going through and it's running all these different back tests, right? Now it's testing out the 50, we're going to test out the 60, we're going to test out the 70, right? And you'll see all these different results, okay? And what we can do is we can optimize our strategy to figure out which one actually does the best for us, right? So should we be investing in the 50, the 30, the 40, or the 70, right? So you see here, this is our 30-day momentum strategy, right? So it's our momentum strategy with 30 days, okay? These are going to keep popping up. There's 70, right? So here's a 30-day, right? You see on the 30-day, we had a compound annual growth rate, and this is from 2020 January to basically current day, right? This is daily data, so we're able to get more recent stuff here, okay? And this is going from 2020 January all the way up until today, right? You see that this strategy, 30-day momentum, would have given you a 30% average annual gain versus the Bitcoin, which only did 14% over that same time period. So we doubled the return of Bitcoin on an annual basis. It's even more and over a longer term. We have a Sharpe ratio that's much higher. We have a 1.2 Sharpe ratio versus a 0.68, which means that not only are we beating it, but we're doing it with better risk profile, right? So the most that we would have lost is 25% versus Bitcoin, which is down 35% throughout this time period, right? You can actually see here, Bitcoin just drove off a cliff and we didn't do that, right? So this strategy would have avoided that whole loss from that period, right? Yeah, so we had a lower max drawdown, we had even a lower volatility, so it's doing less of this jitteriness, right? So you're sleeping better at night, you have a lower probability of losing money, and you're having a higher return. These all sound like great ideas to me, right? But that's using 30 days, right? But now we could test it with these other time periods, right? As you saw, things kept popping up while I was going through this. I was testing out 30, here's 40 days, how would it have done? Here's 50 days, how it would have done. Here's 60, here's 70, here's 80, right? And you see each one of those graphs get a little different and each one of our numbers are a little different. So you see 80 has a 20% return, 0.8 Sharpe ratio. 70 has a 1 Sharpe ratio, 27% return. 29% return for 60. 30% return for 50. 36% return for 40. So this one's looking like might be even the best. And then for 30, we're seeing a 30% return, right? So what this allows us to do is figure out which type of momentum, which length of momentum is actually best for us. In this case, we see that 40 is actually the best. This one does even better than that one that we looked at before. This one's a 36% average return, which is more than double the Bitcoin's. Our Sharpe ratio is almost triple that of Bitcoin. Our max drawdown is even lower, and our volatility is still about the same. So this thing's just making us tons of money and helping us avoid risk. Definitely looks like a great strategy to me, right? And we're able to even optimize it by looking at all these different levels and basically testing out all these different inputs, right? So very cool stuff. And another thing to note too is, when you're doing some of this algorithmic trading, there's ways you could actually sanity check some of your numbers, right? So it's actually a very good thing that it was 30 was doing pretty good, 40 got better, and then it started going downhill after that on 50, on 60, on 70, and on 80, right? So we know that when we run this algorithm, it's quite clear to me that a 40 is probably the best, right? And we could test now, okay, what about 41 or 42, 43? We can optimize that and say, this is the algorithm that's going to do the best for us going forward based on past data, right? So we're able to make really cool algorithms that we can optimize and help us in the future make quite a bit more money, right? Okay, cool. So that's a momentum strategy, right? Another one that I want to show you is our fast trader strategy, right? So this one basically, what it does is, this one is, I wouldn't actually invest in this one, but I want to show you the capability of these bots and what they can do, right? So if I were to go into my Coinbase, right? So I see we have Coinbase here. I loaded it up. We have no orders in here, okay? No open orders. And my filled orders are back at 6:56 p.m. Eastern time, right? So it's about an hour ago, okay? So now let me go in here and I'm going to run this fast trading bot, okay? And it's gonna do something very simple. It's just gonna buy and sell. It's not doing anything crazy. We're not trying to beat the market or anything, but I wanna show you just how quickly you can get in and out of things, right? So here, when I run this bot, all right, we'll start this thing running, okay? And we can actually even go faster than this, by the way, but I want to show you some of the capabilities, right? This one's doing every 10 seconds. We could even speed it up from there. I've never tried going faster, but I'll show you 10 seconds first. Maybe we could even do it even quicker. There you go, okay. All right, so when you go in here, I flip back to my filled. We see that we already had one filled. Flip back to open. We see that we have a bunch of open positions, right? Flip back to filled. We see that we have another one that already got filled, right? So we had two already in just the time that I was flipping back and forth, right? I go back again. We see that we have even more here placed, right? Flip back to filled. We now have 3 filled, right? So this thing's able to trade quite quickly for us, right? Right, flip back to open, we see that even more of them are moving along, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades that just got placed, right? So this thing's able to get in and out of trades so quickly. And I don't know about you, but the amount of time that went through this would probably be the same amount of time for me to find my phone, unlock it, go into Coinbase, find Bitcoin, right? This is Ethereum Bitcoin pair that we're trading here. Find the Ethereum Bitcoin pair and actually get a price and start trading. That's pretty much the same amount of time, and we've been able to place how many trades here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades already. Okay, and we still have a bunch sitting around. Okay, now I could even speed that up, right? Let's see. I haven't tried this yet, but it'd be fun to try this out. That's every 10 seconds. Why don't we try every 3 seconds, right? We'll see just how quickly this thing can go. All right, I'm going to close these ones that are open. Right. And let's move to refresh it. There we go. Okay, so we'll run this, and now we'll go even every 3 seconds, right? So this thing can really trade quite quickly, right? Right, so there we go. So if we're flipping back and forth, we'll see that we're already placing some trades, right? And this is just smoking it. Like, there's so many things happening right now. You see these trades being placed every couple seconds, right? We go back and forth, and the list just keeps growing and growing and growing. So we're able to trade significantly faster than any person can possibly trade. I bet you to try to keep up, right? And this kind of just gives you an idea. And look at how many trades have been already placed, right? So you're able to go in and out of markets very, very quickly. right? And get things done that no human being could possibly do, right? And why does that matter, right? Well, that matters because if you want to do arbitrage, for example, between exchanges, you are not going to be able to do that physically yourself. You are not going to be able to go fast enough to actually capture those pennies, right? If you want to front run someone, for example, on an exchange, you want to basically make money off that type of anomaly, you need to have the speed. You can't really get in and out that quickly, right? There's lots and lots of things they can do using this speed to take advantage of a lot of this volatility, a lot of these things that are happening inside of the crypto market, right? Cool. All right. And we have a chat here. Wow, Ron Rose. Yeah, absolutely. You saw that, and that's 3 seconds. I probably even speed it up to 1 second, right? That's about as fast as we can go, but I think we can probably even tweak our technology to go even faster than that. So you're really able to get in and out really, really fast. You know, day traders, eat your heart out. Good luck. You know. Cool. So yeah, so that's a little demo of kind of like how fast this thing can go, right? There's another strategy we're working on. I can't show this to you right now. We don't have it working yet. I was trying to get this done by today. I haven't had a chance to get it working yet. But there's another really interesting strategy, a golden cross or death cross, right? Where basically you're looking at different moving averages, right? So I believe it's the 200-day moving average and the 50-day. When the 50-day crosses below the 200, that means that we're in a bad position, right? It means that you might want to get out. When it crosses the other way, it's a golden cross, and this is a time when you want to actually buy into this, right? Kind of what I'm trying to get at here is that we're able to do a lot of these different types of bots, right? Using technical analysis, using momentum, using very fast trades. You know, pretty soon when we go into this class, I want to have ready for you guys a bot that actually trades off social media as well. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that you can do with that. Right? There's lots and lots of really cool things that you do with this, right? So Lax says, so can you please explain negative side too? Some people want to spend their retirement money hard earned, like, yeah, so explain the negative side as well. I mean, do you mean towards algorithmic trading, or do you mean towards trading in general, right? If you're going to be doing a lot of day trading, it of course comes with risks. You know, all investing comes with risks. I think especially crypto. You know, I think if you're trading crypto and you think there's no risk, I mean, I would definitely look into that a second time. You know what I mean? There's definitely risks in crypto, and I hope that you're not here thinking that it is without risks, right? And yeah, I mean, but yeah, so algorithms, which we're explaining, right? So I mean, algorithms in general, right, I believe have a lot of upsides to trading manually, right? Sorry, Ron, I'm going to get to your question in a second there. So algorithms in general, they have a lot of advantages over trading as a human being, right? Just because you are able to get that speed, because you are able to back test, and you're able to be a lot more level-headed in your decisions, right? When you're trading just manually, right, a lot of people tend to do like the gambling thing, right, where you go in and you just, oh, this is the, you know, let's buy Dogecoin because it's the stock of the day or whatever, right, or the meme coin of the day. Whereas if you are able to sit down and go and back test the stuff, you can go in with a level head and you could say, does this actually make sense what I'm doing here, right? As opposed to just basically gambling, right? Algorithms, of course, they do require work to build out. It's not that this is going to be, you know, the simplest thing in the world. You guys are definitely going to have to learn how to code, and you're going to have to learn how to build these things. There are a lot of algorithms that we give to you that you'll be able to use right out of the box, like the ones I'm showing you right now. We're going to have a few more ready by the time that the course starts, right? So some stuff around social media, some stuff around, you know, trading using APIs. We're going to be giving you quite a few different algorithms right out of the box, but it's still up to you to basically take this stuff, to modify it to something that you believe is going to work for you, for your investment objectives, and for, you know, basically what you think the future looks like, right? If you think that Bitcoin is going to zero, then I don't think you should be doing, you know, an ETF with Bitcoin in it, right? Or if you think of that towards anything else, right? You know, if you're a strong believer in Ethereum, then you can have certain types of strategies around that as well. So there is a lot of customization that you can do, and it does come with risks. And it does come with some work, but there is absolutely a lot of money that you can make doing this sort of thing, right? So Ron asks, so what's your preferred security protection for your crypto and other assets? So what do you mean by security protection, right? Do you mean how do I store my assets? Do I use cold storage? You know, I don't mind keeping them on exchanges or keeping them at DeFi. I don't like cold storage, right? I'm not a fan of cold storage. I don't like the fact that I can lose this thing. There's too many stories, and you know, I've lost my keys in the past before. If I lost my keys, that's one thing. I can go to locksmith and make new ones. If I lost my crypto cold storage and I lost, you know, whatever thousands of dollars or millions of dollars on that, there's people with these stories of losing $100 million in a landfill. I mean, that's just, I don't want that, you know. I feel a lot more comfortable keeping it at like an exchange like Coinbase, which is insured, they're publicly traded. If something were to happen, I can sue them, right? I don't mind that. You know, yeah, I don't do too much stuff around that. I tend to have more of a trust in exchanges than most people do, I think. And then there's also a lot of things you could do in terms of DeFi, where you can lend out your coins and make some yield off of that as well. And that's, I think, a very smart thing to do, right? Alex asks, do you run these algorithms on a laptop or in the cloud? You could run them either way, right? You could run them on your laptop or in the cloud. I prefer to run my algorithms in the cloud because I have a tendency to close my laptop, to move around, that sort of thing. I'd rather run them in the cloud. I don't have to think about them anymore, right? And that's, you know, that's something that we can show you how to do. We're actually even working on a website to kind of make that really simple for you guys to deploy your stuff to the cloud, right? Right. Ron says, why break the formula when you have the results? Yeah, definitely. Cold storages and exchanges. So recommend security protection or layers. What cloud platform you use? And I see you use Dockers. Yeah. So I mean, I'm a fan of Docker, right? I definitely use Docker for my stuff. I think it makes it a lot simpler. I put it up on Google Cloud. I like Google Cloud. They have very good machine learning stuff. But I mean, I could show you guys how to Dockerize your stuff and throw it up there. You can put it up on AWS. You can put it up on Heroku. You can put it up on Google Cloud. I don't think it really matters because it's all kind of the same thing. It's just Python in a Docker container. Pretty simple to do, right? Right. And then recommended security protection or layers. So if you mean again towards like protecting your tokens, so keep this in mind. If you're running algorithms, right, you probably want to keep it on an exchange, right? Because this thing's going to actually be trading in and out for you. So if you have to move this from one wallet to another, you're going to be paying these gas fees, which you don't really want to be doing. So if you're trading, you want to keep it on an exchange, right? If you want to take it off the exchange, maybe you could use an exchange like Binance that has their own wallet, and you can do other things from that wallet. That's not a bad idea, right? But you know, you definitely want to, if you're going to have an algorithm that's buying in and out of stuff and investing it for you, then you want to keep it on an exchange, most likely for you to, or at least on a wallet that's connected to an exchange, so you can actually do that trading, right? Cool, awesome, great questions, guys. All right, cool. So moving on, let's talk about some capabilities we could do with these bots, right? So we spoke about this a bit, and I showed you some demos. You know, a lot of people really like doing technical analysis. If this was the algorithmic trading course on equities, I would tell you technical analysis doesn't have a huge basis in equities. I can tell you that I've seen a lot of people make money in crypto with technicals. For some reason, they work really a lot better there. I think probably just because people listen to technicals and people actually follow that, right? So we'll teach you how to do a lot of technical analysis. We'll teach you how to do this with pandas, how to actually do all this different types of stuff like the momentum and the golden cross and all that kind of stuff. It's all actually pretty easy to do once you kind of know the basics. And we'll show you how to run through all those types of algorithms, right? Some other really cool algorithms and things that you might want to do is like using like custom feeds or APIs, right? So one really cool one is Lunar Crush, right? So let me show you this one. Lunar Crush. This is it. Okay. So this is a really interesting one. And imagine plugging into this, right? You could actually go in here and you could see basically what coins are doing in terms of their social dominance, right? And if you actually log in, they have even more stuff here where they like track influencers, you know, Bitcoin Magazine, Lark Davis, right? These are all the different like Bitcoin influencers, and it's tracking them to say what coins they like now, what coins they don't. And you know, even if you don't believe that these guys are having predictive ability in terms of, you know, they're right or wrong, just the fact that they say I like this or I don't like this, it tends to move markets, right? So, for example, when Elon Musk is tweeting about Dogecoin, shoots through the moon, right? It's probably something you want to be paying attention to, right? So this is one website that does that. It checks social engagement, checks social dominance, right? And kind of helps you figure out, you know, which coins are on the up and up, right? So if you were to look through all this, right, they have an API that you can connect to, and you can run that through your bot and have that bot automatically checking these tokens that have higher social dominance that are raising up and invest in those automatically, right? These guys, they've gone on record saying that when you backtest this, it actually does quite well, right? It beats the market by a quite substantial amount of money, you know, so you can link to these guys as an API, as one example, right? There's a lot of other things that you could do too, though, right? You can connect to all sorts of other APIs, all sorts of, you know, listening to people on Discord. You could do things where you're listening to the news. You could do things where you're reading up on the value of these projects. So, for example, Token Sniffer, I mentioned this before, right? You could use this kind of website, plug it into your bot, and basically, there's Token Sniffer. I don't know if this is the right one. Sniffer blog. Oh, maybe they don't exist anymore. It's funny. I was actually on their website pretty recently. Token Sniffer website. Yeah, tokensniffer.com. I don't know why that doesn't show up on. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why that doesn't show up in Google. It's weird. It's weird how you Google that, and it wasn't the first website that popped up. But basically, there's a website that helps you find scams in the crypto space, right? So here are some scams that have been happening, like NFT babies, One Love token, etc. Right? Tells you trending tokens, tells you newest tokens, and when you go into them, it actually kind of tells you what is the probability of this thing being a total scam, and they do that by checking things like, is the code different from other tokens, right? So you could just like copy code, and that's like, okay, well, that's just going to work right off the bat, right? But it means that you probably didn't put that much effort into this, right? If you didn't put much effort into it, then you're probably looking to do a rug pull, right? Or is it like a legitimate team that's working on this and they spent, you know, however many hundreds of hours coding this, right? That's much less likely to be a scam. They're actually trying to do something more legitimate, right? That's like one of the things I looks at. There's a bunch of stuff here, right? You could say, look at the liquidity. It could tell you, you know, a creator wallet contains less than 5%, right? So it has all these things that kind of tell you about coins and which ones are going to be scams, basically, right? And if you're seeing a coin that's really small, that's up and coming, you check it up on Token Sniffer. Oh, that seems to be actually doing pretty well. Then it could be a good reason for you to invest in this sort of thing, right? And you can do this automatically using algorithms, right? It's just a couple of different things, right, that you can do. So Jenna asks, can you still partake in this course if you have no background in trading or programming? Basically, would you be teaching how to program these algorithms? Yes. So this course is meant to be a very beginner-friendly course. So, and I'll go into the curriculum in a bit, but basically it starts off with the first 2 days teaching you the basics of Python, right? Kind of in the context of building out these bots. So even if you are more advanced, I think you'll still get a lot out of it. But we teach you from the very beginning to do this sort of stuff, right? I've been teaching this for quite a while, and I've seen people that really have never coded before have come out of this class and have built their own algorithms and be able to use them and tweak them to do what they want. Of course, if you want to get very good at this, it's going to take you some time. As with anything in life that's valuable, it will take time. But, you know, I've taught a lot of people that have never coded a day in their life before, and have come out and built their own bots and run their own bots. You know? So thank you for that question, Jenna. Nicholas asks, what if you have zero coding experience? Oh, same question, right? Yeah, so again, we made this course very beginner friendly. So we're going to start off with basically how to write Python code. And then in the context of a bot, we're going to show you how to build this bot within over an 8-week period, right? Horace asks, can you draw data from other tools that you may have, such as predictive trading platforms? So can you draw data from other tools that you have, such as predictive trading platforms? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on the platform, right? Most things are accessible. I mean, if you could load it on your computer, you could probably get it from, like get the data somehow, right? So, I mean, it depends on the platform. It could be either easy or hard. But most things these days, especially when it comes to crypto, it's pretty easy to get data like that. So I would say for the most part, it's probably, I mean, I'd say almost 100% you could do it. And the chances are that's not going to be something incredibly difficult, especially in the crypto space, right? And Horace asks, average time. I'm not sure what you mean by average time. If you want to elaborate on that. Miguel says, excuse me, sir, I just joined the webinar. Did I miss a lot? Yeah, Miguel, we're pretty much at the end of the webinar right now. If you want to have, if you want to get the recording of this, we'll be sending it out via email. You could also check it out on our YouTube channel. We're live right now on our YouTube channel. And after it's done being live, it's going to turn into a recording, right? So you can watch the recording on our YouTube channel. But yeah, Miguel, we definitely went through quite a bit. This is closer to the end of the webinar. Yeah. Horace asks, to be efficient, to be proficient, how long to get proficient in trading algos? It really depends. It really depends, right? Like, I mean, you know, I think within this 8-week period, you'll be able to come out and have algos running on your computer and have these things executing. I mean, I've taught a lot of people to do that from scratch. It's not that hard to get these algos up and running on your computer, to tweak them and kind of make them your own. And then there's a really big difference between what types of algorithms you want to make. If you can make algorithms that like analyze satellite data and like try to track the wind and solar patterns or whatever, right? Like, I mean, there's like really complex stuff that you can do. You know, watch Vitalik Buterin's and see his facial expressions or something like that. Like that stuff can be quite complicated, machine learning stuff. That will take a while to learn. But some of this easier stuff, like doing like technical analysis and whatnot, that's not that difficult to do. We'll walk through a lot of that kind of stuff within the class. And I think by the end of the class, you'll have a pretty strong grip on how to build out like different types of technical analysis and how to do like kind of the easier stuff within algorithms, right? So I believe, so the answer really to that is like, you know, I think 8 to 10 weeks, right? And then if you want to get extremely good at things, obviously it's going to take some time for you to get really, really good at anything, right? Miguel says, thank you, sir. I apologize. Yeah, no problem. That's cool. Ron Rose, so can we apply algos to option plays? Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a class on option trading specifically, right? So if you're interested in learning how to build option trading robots, we actually have a class specifically on that. It's quite a bit different from crypto trading, as you can imagine. Options have a lot of their own very specific things to them, right? So if you're interested in that, we do have a course on it, and you can take that if you'd like, right? So Horace asks, can these be used for options as well? Yeah, so yes, they can. You could use this for options. Again, it's a little bit more complex than trading crypto, just because options by their very nature are more complex. But yes, you can use this to trade options as well. So Alex asks, our class is live or recorded? If live, does it accommodate working folks? Yeah, so we can get into the class in a second. Actually, you know, we might as well jump into that because let me jump into this here. So you guys are starting to ask about this. So let me just take you through kind of the whole spiel on the actual course itself. All right, so if you guys want to follow along with me, I'm basically going to lumiwealth.com. So lumiwealth.com, and oh, I forgot to test this. For some reason, my internet in my apartment right now is not syncing up to Lumiwealth. So what I'm going to do, and please excuse me for this 1 second, I need to swap my Wi-Fi to be another Wi-Fi in my apartment so that I can actually go to this website, because for some reason there's some issues with the DNS today. All right, there you go. Okay, hopefully it didn't disappear for too long and you guys can see me again here. But all right, so if you guys want to actually learn more about the course itself, I'm going to walk you through that. If you go to lumiwealth.com, go under courses, go to crypto trading using algorithms, right? Right. So can you guys see me well? Is it good? Because I switched internet, so hopefully it's still working pretty well. But I'll send over this link here. And maybe I'll switch to my other internet, just because. So wait for this thing to load. I was supposed to do this before the webinar, but it's okay. We got it working now. Can you guys see me well? Am I choppy at all? Am I skipping at all, or is the internet good? If you guys can let me know. It's good. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll stay on this internet and I'll walk you guys through this. So. Okay, so here's the course. I'm going to take the link. I'll put it there for you guys again. There's a link to the course. You can also just go to lumiwealth.com and under courses, crypto trading using algorithms, right? And you can read about the course here, description. And basically, I described to you what it's all about. What we look to do is to help you build algorithms that trade cryptocurrencies. Miguel asked, do we have an app? We do not have an app. We are working on a website. And working on an app. We'll probably have one in a few more months. Not yet, but we're working towards that, Miguel. Yeah, so good question. We do have an open source project that we use though. So we do have technology that we give to you guys, right? All right, so that's the course description. We talked about this already, why trade crypto? There's, it's a 24/7 market, trends change fast, all that sort of thing. There's a little bit about the learning outcomes, where you're going to come from this. You're going to learn kind of the fundamentals of crypto trading and of Python. You're going to learn how to back test your investment strategies. You're going to learn how to get historical data and use that. You're also going to learn a lot about like the crypto space in general. I'll tell you everything that I know about the space that I've learned over the past couple of years, which is starting to be quite a bit. Although it's crazy how fast this grows. There's always something new happening. But that's kind of all the learning outcomes they get from there. And here's a curriculum. Here's basically what you're going to learn from this course, right? So we divide this up into 3 parts, okay? First part is going to be learning the fundamentals of like how to code and how to get everything set up on your computer and whatnot, right? So week 1 is going to be, getting your computer set up, getting to know everyone else in the class. I think it's very cool to get to know other people in the class. People tend to love that because you get to know who else is in there with you. So Ron, I'm going to be teaching this entire class. So I'm teaching this whole class, right? Yeah, so not just partially. I'm going to be teaching the entire thing, right? So week 1 is going to be introductions. It's going to be the how to get your system set up and all that kind of stuff, right? And the intros are really cool because you get to know who else in your class. A lot of people end up working on projects together afterwards as well. So definitely a really cool thing to get to know everyone. Then we're going to spend some time getting you familiar with Python. It's important for you guys to know kind of the basics. I'm going to give you guys also supplementary material so you guys can really like get up to speed quickly with Python, right? So we'll go over the basics, right? And then we'll go over some of the more advanced stuff in Python. And at the same time, we're going to get LumiBot set up on your computer, and you're going to see this thing in real time, how Python applies to how it applies to coding, how coding applies to like making bots. So Miguel, you have a question, how much does this course cost? We'll get to that in a second. Here are the prices down here for different plans. We'll talk about that in a sec, right? We'll get to that. We have payment plans and all that available. I'll talk about that right after the course curriculum, right? So part 1 is kind of getting you into the fundamentals. So again, it's very beginner friendly, right? So even if you don't know how to code, we're going to take you through that, right? Of course, it's going to be a lot more work if you've never coded before. It's definitely going to be a pretty steep learning curve, but we've built this in such a way that you'll be able to get through that. And you can retake this as many times as you want as well until you actually get that right. But okay, so part one is really that beginner friendly, get you into Python, get you started with everything. Part two is making sure that we have everything set up with a CryptoBot. Weeks 4 or 5, we're going to be installing Lumiwealth. We're going to set up your first CryptoBot. You're actually going to link to an account. You're going to set up your broker, and you're going to actually start placing trades. Right. So we'll probably use something like Coinbase Pro or Binance or KuCoin to be placing these trades and to go through that. Right. Then we're going to go over in week 5 how to back test a strategy. Right. So all the back testing kind of stuff that we did today, you'll be able to see how you yourself will be able to do that. Right. So how can you back test the strategy yourself and basically tweak and tune your strategy, see how it would have done over the past so that you can have a much better idea of how this thing is going to work in the future. Right. Back testing, they say, isn't perfect. We don't know for sure what's going to happen in the future, but it is a heck of a lot better than us going in completely blind and saying, well, I don't know, I heard it on the news, right? So it actually allows us to actually go in there and have a much more informed decision as to what we're doing, right? Okay, so we're going to go over that. And then part 3, we're going to go over quite a few different examples, right? So we're going to go over a technical analysis bot. We're going to spend a good amount of time on that. How to build your own crypto ETF, which we covered today. We'll go through all that code and how you can do that yourself. Then we'll go into some more advanced strategies, how to connect to APIs. So things like what I showed you there, Lunar Crush or connected to social media, right? How do you connect to that sort of thing or other types of APIs, right? There's quite a few things you can do with that, right? And then we're going to talk about machine learning in crypto as well. How do you use artificial intelligence basically to trade for you? That's going to be a very, very cool thing to do. I could tell you, we also have another class on machine learning specifically that goes like, this is like a brief overview of machine learning. We have a class that's like entirely on machine learning. And I could tell you the professor, the instructor there, he runs a company called Pika Group that builds algorithms for people, right? Like machine learning algorithms and like hedge funds and things like that. He builds them for, right? And he has just been making an incredible amount of money using machine learning in the crypto space. So we're going to cover that a little bit. You'll see kind of how you can build your own machine learning algorithms in crypto, some of the basics, right? And then if you want to even go further than that, you could take our machine learning class and get like really, really good at it, right? But here's kind of the introduction to it, right? So that's our curriculum, right? And then a lot of you guys have been asking about, what kind of plans do we have and what kind of pricing this is. So let me start by saying we have 3 different types of plans, right? We have a self-directed plan where basically you watch pre-recorded videos. So it's like recordings of past classes, right? And you'll be able to watch those courses as many times as you want. You have lifetime access to it. You also get access to all the code that's in the class, right? And then you also get access to our community, right? So you get to join us on Discord. You get part of the private channels. We also have a discussion hour that happens once a week where people talk about different trading strategies. Lots of times crypto gets brought up and there's some really interesting things that happen. Discussion hours actually taking place right now, right? So a lot of people are probably talking about some cool different crypto strategies as we speak, actually. Of course, we're doing this instead today, but I'm usually there as well, right? So anyways, that's a self-directed plan. You get the pre-recorded videos, you get access to the course material and all the algorithms, and then you get access to also our community, right? A step up from that, that's the most basic plan. A step up from that, and the one that most people tend to buy is our live classes plan, right? And this one basically gives us enables you to be part of a live class like this, right? So you get everything from the self-directed. You get access to the videos, you get access to the code, you get access to the community, but then also you get to be part of a live class, right? So it's like this live over Zoom, right? You guys are asking questions throughout, which is awesome, right? But you're also able to turn on your microphones. You're able to ask a lot of questions and say, well, why are you doing this? And how does this work here? or if your computer's not working, we can like share screens and get this thing to work on your computer when we're going live through the class, get everyone set up completely. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of hand holding, so you don't get stuck, you know. Coding is one of those things, if you've never learned to code before, or if you've never learned to code a new thing before, it's one of those things that you could spend 10 hours banging your head against the wall because you can't figure out the semicolon should be there, or a space or whatever. Or you could just ask and say, hey, what's going on here? And I could solve that problem for you in 30 seconds, right? So there's a huge advantage to being part of a live class because you get that interaction and you get that a lot of the help along the way, right? You also get a chance to jump on Zoom calls, right? For both of these things, more so with live classes. We spend a lot of time with students in our live classes, and you're able to, and of course, a live class, another really good thing with live class is that it's paced, right? So it enables you to actually figure out, you know, to show up and kind of like self-pace yourself going through the class, right? You also get to know other people in the class as well, so it's very communal, right? So a lot of really good advantages of being the live class, right? It's live over Zoom once a week, right? And this one's gonna be taking place on Sundays, right? Okay, so that's live classes. So we have our self-directed, and then live classes is everything from self-directed plus you get that live class, right? And then there's our premium plan, right, which is our project help and tutoring plan, which gives you everything from self-directed and everything from live classes. So you get to be part of the live seminars, you get access to all the code, you get access to our community, plus we'll spend a lot of time helping you out, right? And that can either mean one-on-one tutoring, right? Because you're stuck somewhere and we'll do the one-on-one tutoring. Hey, do you need help with something? Let's walk through that. Let's figure out how do we get you further along. Or what it could also mean is that we can get we have a team of developers to help you actually build some of this stuff, right? So I could tell you that for some reason, crypto, this class, a lot of people are opting for the project help and tutoring plan. I don't know why this time around, a lot of people are opting for that. Basically, what we're doing is we're spending a lot of time with them one-on-one. We have a team of developers that's able to sit down and, you know, we'll spend up to 12 hours, I believe, is with this plan. We'll spend up to 12 hours either development or one-on-one tutoring. And we can help you build out some of your strategy, right? It could be, if it's a simple strategy, it can help you build out kind of the beginning parts and you can figure out how to tweak it. Or if it's a more complex strategy, we'll kind of help guide you along the way how to build this really complex type strategy, right? It depends on what you're trying to build, okay? So that's the project help tutoring plan. You get everything from self-directed, from live classes and more, where we have this whole team helping you out, right? You guys have asked a lot of questions here. So let me back up here and answer some of them. So Lax says, how many days we will be in Connect if we take live classes? So live classes, here is the schedule for live classes, okay? It's 8 weeks long, right? Each lecture is about 2 hours per week, right? A lot of times they go longer, right? Depends on the size of the class. Smaller classes are a little shorter, larger classes go a little longer because we share screens and things like that. But it's 8 weeks long, excluding holidays. I think you guys start right after the Easter holiday. So I don't think you'll have much holidays in the way of that. It's every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Pacific. So to the question, I forget who asked this earlier, is it accommodative to people with working schedules? Absolutely, unless you work on Sundays, which, you know, probably not. Then, you know, Sunday is a very easy one for people to attend. 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 8 weeks long, 2 hours per week, right? We also have an early bird special going on right now. So if you want to save money by March 24th, you could save 20% by using this coupon code here. And I can walk you through how to use that in a second, right? So hopefully that answers your question, Lax. Miguel asks, do you ever host a live seminar? So Miguel, so this is a live class. So it's an 8-week long course teaching you live, right? So it's live over Zoom. So hopefully that answers your question. M. Stebbins, can one upgrade later without paying the whole new fee? We don't typically allow for upgrades. If you pay for this stuff in advance, what we do is we also charge for development work. So if you want to have development work done, we do charge $100 an hour for that. You get a much better deal if you buy the project help tutoring. It's not $100 an hour, the difference, right? But if you want to get development work in the future, you can pay us that amount, whatever it is that you're looking for, right? But you do get a much better deal buying it up front, I'll tell you that. Miguel asked to be able to network with people with similar interests. Yes, so we do have, so live classes, you get to know people in that live class. A lot of people end up building friendships throughout because people ask questions and people tend to like get to know each other over Discord afterwards. We also have our discussion hour that takes place once a week, every day at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have basically everyone from Lumiwealth that kind of gets together and discusses how to make better algorithms or how to build better blockchain stuff. So there's a lot of really active discussion that happens there, and people really get to know each other through there as well. We have a very active community. If you go on our Discord, there's just tons of people there, always discussing everything to do with like blockchain and crypto and algorithmic trading and all that kind of stuff. We've grown to be a big community. I think it's like 1,000 people on our Discord now. It's a lot, you know. Yeah, so absolutely you can network with people. Jason asks, what is the main difference between the regular algo class and the crypto algo class? Can't we apply what we learn in an algo class for crypto trading? Yeah, so Jason, there definitely is a bit of an overlap, right? So algorithmic trading really is meant more for equities, right? It's meant more for stock trading. And that's really our focus in that class is stock trading. We teach you how to connect to like stock brokers, like Interactive Brokers or Alpaca. We briefly talk about a little bit of futures and options and crypto. We kind of cover it a little bit, but we don't get deep into any of them, right? And then we have very niche classes, right? We have like our options class, which is all about how do you build options algorithms. There's very specific things to building options algorithms. Our crypto class is exactly that as well, right? It's like really specifically, how do you trade crypto? Because there are specific things to it, right? The exchanges are different, the coins are different, the APIs that you want to talk to are different. There's a lot of things that you have to worry about in crypto that you wouldn't have to worry about in stocks, right? So that's kind of the difference there. Is this is a much more niche class that gets really specifically into things surrounding crypto, right? Hopefully that answers your question well. Let me know. Miguel says, do we get a certificate of completion? Yes, you do. So if you want to use that certificate, you can put it up on wherever and show that you completed this. We also, you're going to come out of this with some projects as well. So if you're looking to get a job or something like that, then you're going to have some of these projects that you can put up and say, hey, check out what I built and show that off to employers and things like that too, right? Lax says, thank you. You're welcome, Lax. Jason Kim, I see that pandas is taught in the regular algo class, so I guess we don't get to use much in the crypto class. So Jason, we will be using a little bit of pandas, but we're not going to get as deep into it here in this class as we would in the algo trading class. So definitely algo class, we get much deeper into pandas than we do here. That is for sure. That's a good observation, right? Alex asks, does an early bird apply to all course options? Yes. So if you want to buy the project help and tutoring plan, then this also applies to that 20%. It also applies to self-directed. It also applies to live trading, right? Or live courses, right? So this applies to all of them, and you have until March 24th for that to run out, right? Miguel asks, great, that's awesome. May I have the Discord information? Let me send you the Discord again here. So you can join our Discord server here to get to know a lot of people. And then when you join our classes, you get access to also the private parts of Discord, right? So here's our Discord channel, right? And there's all these public channels here, but then there's also current students. Look at all these private channels here for each one of our different classes. We also have private voice channels, like for example, for discussion hour, right? So when you join our classes, you get access to the private stuff as well as the public, right? But if you want to join our public Discord, all you need to do is click on that link that I just sent, right? So may I have Discord information. So Lax asks, where are you located? So normally I'm located in Toronto. I spent a lot of time working in New York City and then moved back basically home to Toronto. It's where I'm originally from. During the pandemic, kind of moved back to the hometown. Right now I'm in Mexico because I do not like the cold. So been in Mexico basically since January and just, escaping the cold, and instead of walking outside in the snow, I go up to the pool and relax a bit in the sun. You know, so it's so it's a little bit of a different kind of lifestyle here, which I very much enjoy doing. Right. Cool. So Miguel says yes. Will we be able to we'll be able to start a crypto hedge fund after these courses? I mean, there's a lot of people that have that intention, right? I mean, starting a hedge fund is a lot of work, right? It's, you know, it's up to you if you want to go down that path. There's, you know, legal stuff you got to deal with, and obviously you got to set all this stuff up. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people go through this course and try to set that sort of thing up, like a crypto hedge fund. I could say one person in particular I was speaking to last week, that is exactly his intention, right? That's why he went ahead and did the project help tutoring. We're going to help build out some of these algorithms for him and maybe even go further. And he wants to build out a hedge fund where he's going to raise money and invest into this, right? He has his own ideas on how to do all this stuff, right? Jenna asks, does a self-directed course also begin April 2022? Yes, it does. The self-directed class is actually starting a little later than that. Basically what it is the self-directed is the recordings from the live class, right? And they're available afterwards, right? So they're not available immediately. They're a little bit delayed from the actual live class. And basically, yeah, so we don't have that available until after the class is done, right? So if you get to self-directed class, you'll get the first recordings a little bit after the beginning of the live class dates, right? Miguel asks, where can we follow you on social media? I mean, we're not super active on social media. Probably the most active is like Instagram. You can check us out at Lumiwealth on Instagram. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. You can also follow us on YouTube. That's another really good one. I was showing that. Go check out our YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube. We do put out a lot of YouTube videos, so you can definitely follow us there as well. Or you can follow us on Discord. Our Discord community is extremely active, so there's a lot of really good stuff that you can get from that too. Right. Thank you, Miguel. Awesome. Lax, do we have a Telegram group? Not yet. I've thought about it, but we, you know, right now we're concentrated on Discord. I mean, we could grow our Telegram group out eventually as well. It's not a bad idea. I've always debated it, right? Should we have both the Discord and Telegram, or should we have everyone in one spot? Is it better to kind of have a few different things like this? I don't know. I'd be open to try it out. I think I created a channel. I just don't know if we actually really use it, like the Telegram group. Maybe someone's using it. I don't even know, right? We're also doing like a circle thing. So, you know, our future webinars, when we do this stuff, we're going to have like kind of like this online community through Circle that you'll be able to go through as well. Miguel says, so after the course, would I be able to become an instructor with Lumiwealth like yourself, sir? There are people actually that have taken our courses that are going to be some of our instructors. One person in particular is Guy, someone that took our courses in the past. He actually took like all of our classes. He's an investment advisor, really knows his stuff. He's actually going to be teaching basically how to build trading strategies that are profitable. So he's going to have a course on that soon. So yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if you go through our courses, you can eventually become an instructor. We do have a high bar for instructors, right? But it has happened before, and I'm sure it will happen again, you know? Miguel says, that's awesome. Congratulations to him. Yeah, absolutely. Says, you ask, are you not on LinkedIn? I am definitely on LinkedIn, Robert Grezik. You can check me on LinkedIn here if you want. I don't update this very often, but you know, if you want to check me out on LinkedIn, you're more than welcome to. Right. And I haven't answered messages for a while. Wow, this is some people that I used to work with. I should probably go on LinkedIn more often. Awesome, cool. All right, Miguel says, great job on answering questions. Thank you, very interactive, awesome. I mean, that's what our live classes are like, right? So if you want to preview, right? Lax says, if I have knowledge on Python, can we involve in your development team? Yeah, actually, we have had people that have taken our courses before that are interns. And we do actually need people to help build algorithms. We do have quite a bit of people that are interested in this stuff. So if you take our courses and you get very good at this stuff, I'd be more than happy to either bring you on as an intern or as someone that could help us develop this stuff. Again, we have a high bar, right? This is something that we don't take lightly. We care a lot about building our instructors and about building things out. But if you put in the work and if you get good at this stuff, more than happy to bring you on board on our team. Absolutely, for sure. We've done that as interns, right? And we've done as instructors, so absolutely, for sure. Thank you. No problem. All right, cool. Lots of questions, guys. This is great. Very interactive. So let's talk about the pricing for the courses, right? So these are 3 different plans, right? So we talked about self-directed, live, and project help and tutoring. Our self-directed is about $1,500, right? Again, you get 20% off right now with the early bird, so you can knock off an extra, what is that, $70 or more than that? I think $300 actually. You'd knock off of that price if you use the early bird, which is only available for like another week, right? There's also pricing plans available, right? So you can pay us over 3 months or 5 months. You don't have to pay us all up front, right? So we do get pricing plans. There's no like credit check or anything like that. It's just like, you jump on the pricing plan and that's it, right? So self-directed, like I said, you're part of our community. You get access to all our videos. You get all the course recordings. That is $1,500, and you can pay over 3 or 5 month payment plan. The live classes, which is also, like I said, one of our most popular, actually is our most popular plan, where you get to be live over Zoom, right? You also get access to the code, you get access to the videos, you get access to all that stuff as well, right? And that one's $3,500, right? You get to join us live on Zoom. We also, if you need one-on-one help, we'll join you one-on-one help. We have a couple hours of live Q&A if you want to actually, a lot of people they'll be building an algorithm and they get stuck somewhere. More than happy to jump on a call, either during the class, you could share your screen, or you could book another time and we could just sit down and, if your computer's doing something crazy, or if you're trying to figure out how to do some algorithm, I'm more than happy to do that. I actually find it very fun to help people with their algorithms because some of the stuff that people build is really, really cool. So yeah, so you also get that as part of the live class as well. And that one's $3,500. Again, if you buy, within the next week or so, by the 24th, by March 24th, then you get that 20% off. You could use that coupon down there, and that'll save you an extra $700, right? And that's also a 3 and 5 month payment plans. They're available. So you pay up front, or you can pay over a different time period, right? Or you could get our project help and tutoring plan. This one is, for some reason, extremely popular with the crypto crowd. People definitely want this a lot. So this is why I'm saying we're actually actively hiring people to help us with building algorithms, just because we have had a very strong demand for this recently. And this project help tutoring plan, you basically get everything from self-directed, which is, community, the recordings, all of our code, right? You also get to be part of the live classes, right? You get to retake the live classes as many times as you want, right? So there are some people that, you'll go through live classes and life happens, right? And you need to retake them again. You're more than welcome to retake them again. There's no limit to that, right? We allow people to do that freely, right? We've had students, for example, that took our classes like 2 years ago when we first started this, and technology changes, things get better. They took it again a couple months ago, right? You get updated on, oh, this is some new technology, some new techniques, some new code that we're doing, right? So you can retake these things as much as you want, right? So feel free to do that. And then, so you get access to all that. And then with the project help tutoring, we also will spend either a lot of time with you one-on-one tutoring, so up to 12 hours, right? On these live one-on-one sessions, or you could opt to spend that time on getting some development help, right? So we can actually sit down and write some of this code for you, right? So let's say you're building out some sort of a bot, you're a little bit stuck, we can actually just write some code for you and then get you unstuck, build out kind of the basics, and you can take it from there, right? So we do have all that available within the project help and tutoring plan, right? And that one, again, also has 3 and 5 month payment plans available, right? Okay. Let me walk you through kind of quickly how you'd be able to buy something like this. So say I want to buy the live class, for example. I'll click on this, select options, right? It's not bringing me down. Normally it would bring me down to here, right? And then there's this coupon code available. So if I copy a coupon code, go to select course, right? It's going to pop over to the cart, right? Inside the cart here. So say, by the way, if you buy more than one class at a time, you actually get a discount. So in this case, I have two classes here, algorithmic trading and crypto trading. Because they're both in there, I get a 10% discount. So you see automatically $700 off, right? That applies to anything, right? So two self-directed and live, whatever combination, as long as it's two classes, you get extra 10% off. And I could also take this coupon, stick it in there, early bird, and that saves me even more money, right? So this coupon is knocking off, a bunch of money and then even more because I have two courses at once, right? And then basically I go to proceed to checkout, right, on the next page. And on the next page, I can pick my payment plans, right? So let's go to the next page. Here we have, this is if I want to pay outright, I can do that, right? Or I can pay with a payment plan. I could choose 3 or 5 months. It is a little bit more expensive when you choose the payment plans. It's kind of the same thing. Like you save money if you pay up front, right? But we do have the 3 and the 5 month payment plans, and you can select them here, and you'll see exactly what that is, and go through and complete the payment. All right. So just to walk you guys through that. Some other things I want to tell you about. So that's the classes, that's the curriculum, that's all that stuff. Then there's if you want to read a little bit about me, here's some information about me as well. I think I want to stick a LinkedIn link there as well, because you guys are asking about this. We'll stick that in there. And then you can also read about some testimonials by past students. Here's a couple of guys. Here's a game that joined us, for example, didn't know how to code when he first started. He has a YouTube channel. He's actually coded some really cool stuff since then. Very enthusiastic guy, really built some cool stuff. Renee joined us. He did know how to code, and he built some very cool stuff as well. Sintayan, you've probably seen him in our Discord. This guy's super active, comes to our discussion hours very regularly. Last I heard, like I said, I think he's making like 500% a year on his algorithms, really making some good money. He's someone that I would love to have actually start a hedge fund, because I think he could make a ton of cash doing that. Joel, also someone that knew how to code, but built some really cool stuff as well. And then you can read about some of these other things. There's more reviews that I still need to put up. We've just been very busy, but there's been tons and tons of people who have taken our courses. So don't take my word for it. Listen to these guys, see what they think. Go through our Discord community, ask them. There's lots and lots of people that have taken our courses and very happy with it. And we pride ourselves on that. I think that's very important, right? Is to make sure that we have people that are happy and came out, learned some really great stuff and built some great algorithms. If you want to read more testimonials, you can also go under more testimonials, and you can read more that way as well. All right. Okay, cool. So I believe that's pretty much everything for today. So I'm going to open it up to you guys. I know you guys have been asking a lot of questions throughout, so I'm going to open it up to you guys as well right now. And anything that you didn't get a chance to ask, any last things that you want to ask me about, feel free to go ahead. I'll leave the channels open here, and let's see what you guys think and what you guys have to ask me. So I see here's a question from Lax. Is there any discount if me and my friend join as a team? Yes, we do provide discounts if you and someone else join as a team. That's something that you'd have to speak to our sales team about. You might have spoken to either Alicia or Fisnik. They can help you out with that. Especially Alicia, she can help you out with that. We've done this before in the past where we've given discounts where 2 or more people take it at once. So we can definitely do that for you if you're interested. Absolutely. Just reach out to Alicia and she can help you out with that sort of thing. And I'll give you the email here, Alicia at LICJ@lumiwealth.com. Right, so shoot her an email and she can help you out with that, with a discount for you and your friend. All right. Let's see here. There's a question here in the Q&A that I probably missed a while back. Boris asks, what about for options? Okay, we answered that, so that's good. Cool. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to type this out. I'm gonna have a sip of water here. Okay, what's the correct website for Pika Group? That is a good question. Pika Group. You're asking about, I think this is it. Pika.group, www.pika.group. And this is, you're asking about Greg's, our instructors. This is his company that he runs and builds these machine learning models. Right. Pika.group. So let him know that we sent you as well. No problem. Cool. Any other questions, guys? I think this is good because you guys got a lot of questions out during the presentation, which is really good. That was a lot of fun. I like these like active presentations. I love how engaged you guys are. I hope to see you guys in class and be engaged like that in class as well. You know, like we can build some really, really cool stuff. Honestly, like building out some very cool like crypto bots. I mean, like I've spoken to some people that built this stuff and really made like some insane returns. We're just getting into this right now. So people have asked about, you know, like what are your returns or whatever. I mean, we're just getting started building crypto bots. We built a lot of algorithms for like stocks and options and stuff like that. Crypto is a new thing to us. But I've seen, you know, so many people make really ridiculous amounts of money off this. I remember speaking to someone a couple of months ago that was saying he was making like 1,500% a year using their algorithm, and it wasn't anything like super complicated either. It was like basic machine learning. So lots of really good potential here. So I'd love to see what you guys come up with. By the time that this class starts, we're going to have more algorithms for you, right? Because right now we have a couple. I want to build out this machine learning algorithm and a couple other ones for you guys, so you have lots of examples when you're part of the class. And yeah, let's make some money together. Let's do some really cool stuff. You know, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. All right, cool. So I think that's it. We're not getting any more questions in, so I think it's safe to say that that's pretty much it. Honestly, guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for attending. It was great to have you guys here. I love all the enthusiasm. I love all the questions that you guys have. And I hope to see you guys in class. It starts soon. It starts at the end of April, so in about a month from now. We have that early bird special, so if you want to save some money, make sure you use that coupon code. And yeah, and if you sign up to our Project Help tutoring plan, you know, we'll get you on a kickoff call quite soon. We'll get you involved with one of our developers to help build out some of your algorithms even before the class starts. All right, so yeah, so thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Oh, so Alex asked, what's my personal email? So my email is rob@lumiwealth.com. So if you want to contact me directly, you can contact me at rob@lumiwealth.com. All right. Let's make sure you save that, because when this session ends, that email is going to disappear. Right. But you've probably seen my email in any of the emails that go out, the correspondence. I mean, pretty much, I think every single email that you get from us, you just hit reply and we'll answer you back. If you want to talk to me specifically, you say like, hey, I want to talk to Rob, you know, and like someone will route you over to me, right? We'll figure it out somehow. Also through the text messages we read when you guys send text messages too. So we have a very open line of communication. So if you ever want to reach me, it's really not that difficult to get through to me. But if you'd like my email address directly, then you can go ahead and email me there as well. Right? Cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for attending, and I hope to see you guys in class soon. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you.